Welcome back to 843 TV. Joining us now is Shawn Gardner. He's the Director of Rehab here at NHC. Welcome, Shawn. Thank you for joining us now.
Thank you for having me.
We're enjoying it here. It's so beautiful out today, and we've been talking about the services provided here. Tell us a little bit more about why should a patient choose NHC for the rehabilitation?
Well, a patient really should choose NHC for their rehab services because we have such a variety of staff members that can provide specialty care for their patients. I have on staff a lot of PTs and OTs that have a lot of specialty areas, so we can cover all of their rehabilitation needs, ranging from neuro patients that maybe have had strokes or some kind of brain injury down to our orthopedic patients that have total knees and total hips. And just with the amount of staff that we have, we can take care of all of the rehab needs on an inpatient basis.
Yeah, and that gets really specific, doesn't it? Because those are two totally different practice areas.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, you have a knee surgery, you need somebody who can help you get back on your feet and running. You have something more dealing with neurological, and you might need somebody with memory care.
That's correct.
Like that.
And we have therapists that specialize in orthopedic procedures, and then we also have therapists that specialize in neuro, which is your stroke and brain injury.
Right. So let's talk a little bit more about your team. You mentioned some PTs and OTs.
Mm-hmm.
What do those stand for? Physical therapists?
PT is for a physical therapist,
Okay.
and OT is occupational therapist. With that being said, too, I also have PTAs, which are called physical therapy assistants, and CODAs, which are certified occupational therapy assistants. And then I also have speech therapists that are on my staff. And I also have, on a PT level, you'll see DPT, which is a doctor of physical therapy. So I have a number of doctor of physical therapies on my staff as well.
Okay. And you mentioned earlier you got a support staff that none of this would be possible without them, right?
Absolutely. My team is a wonderful team, but all the three that work behind the scenes of Lynn, Debbie, and Krisher, without the three of them taking care of all of the behind the scenes paperwork and all the inner workings of our department, it would be very difficult to do. So they're an integral part of our team.
Absolutely.
And you've got a comprehensive team, so that's wonderful. Tell us about some of the carryover process that you provide for the patients.
Some of the carryover that we do is once a person is here for their inpatient rehab stay, they may need some kind of fine-tuning or continued services once they leave our building. And once they leave our building, we offer outpatient, and we also offer home care services. One thing that's nice about both of those services, as with our inpatient, is everything is a one-on-one basis. We don't do any group treatments, we don't do any concurrent treatments, anything like that. You get one-on-one time with your therapist, so that therapist is totally focused on you during your stay. Once you come to outpatient or our home care, that continuum of care continues on with that, still with one-on-one care. From your PT, OT, or speech therapist.
And that gets back to what Michelle was referencing earlier with the continuum of care. You know, people they gain a level of comfort and confidence with their service providers, and to be able to continue that relationship must feel, give the patient a little sense of security, right?
It really does, and the patients actually get to meet their home care therapist while they're actually still an inpatient, which is one nice thing we have. Because our home care is here in our building, they know when the person is going to be discharged. So our home care PT and OT go to the patient, meet them, introduce themselves, so that when they come out for their first visit, they already know who's coming to see them. Same as an outpatient. Our outpatients share our gym with the inpatients. So while you're here as an inpatient, you also see the outpatient therapist, you get to meet them. So when you come in, again, it's a familiar face and we get to build that rapport with the patient while they're here.
And that's, I'm sure, the most important part of the process. And you mentioned too that it might be possible that someone comes for a second time. I know of a lady who's been here several times, and she just loved it. And every time she's different treatments, she returns here. So it must be a great place to be, a great place to work. Tell us some of the great things that are big about your staff and to work here.
Well, I love working at NHC because the big part is my staff, because I interact with them obviously on a daily basis. The staff is actually unbelievable. The way that they support each other, you don't even have to ask for help. They're already right there to go. You know, if someone needs help seeing their patients, everybody pitches in and does their part. But it's not only my team coming to work here, it's actually an entire building. I mean, all the teams in this, we wouldn't be as good as we are if we didn't have the support of admissions, nursing, right down to dietary, maintenance, housekeeping. I mean, if we didn't have everybody working together, it really wouldn't all come together as a wonderful building to work in.
Absolutely. Now, for some of our viewers who may anticipate needing some rehabilitation care in the near future, or who might have a family member who might need some rehabilitation care, what should they take away from this broadcast? Why do you think, what should they walk away with about NHC?
I think from this broadcast, if they walk away just knowing that if they come to our building for any type of therapy or nursing service, they're going to get the best quality of care that we can provide. I mean, NHC is committed to be the industry leader in customer and investor satisfaction, so we want to make sure everybody knows that when you come here, we give you 100% of our time, and we just want you to know that we won't leave you. We'll be with you through the entire process from beginning to end, and even once you leave our building, we always give you our information, because we don't want you to feel like you don't have a resource to fall back on should you have questions once you leave our building.
Right. Great stuff. Shawn Gardner, Director of Rehab for NHC Bluffton, thank you very much for joining us
Thank
today.
you so much for having me.
And stick around for one more segment of 843 TV.